and most consumers have no clue what to look for or trust. We need to do better, and I know I can do better. I knew that I could combine my expertise as a dietitian, my research analysis skills, and my relationship with all of you and your needs to create a line of supplements that actually work and that you can trust.
I had to talk about this because I kind of vaguely mentioned Abby Sharp in a video that I did. I can't remember, it was a couple weeks ago now. I was talking about her commenting on this mum called Alexandra, I think. She was a TikTok mum who had like the powdered donuts and everything. And then Abby Sharp, who is a registered dietitian, she basically gave her thoughts and feelings about the fact that it's okay and that the mum's doing a good job because she gave her kids powdered donuts because that's better than what a majority of kids eat, because a lot of kids don't eat anything.
Mom, you are doing a great job. Your sweet girl here has been given some energy to start her day. Sadly, that is more than we can say for a lot of other kids.
Once upon a time, I had followed Abby Sharp. This was ages ago, okay? This was when she was covering Fruly the Banana Girl. What I will say is that her audience is furious with her. Furious with her because she's now decided to come out with this protein powder shake / probiotic. I can also buy a little shaker to go with it as well, you know, for your mixy mix.
I want to be a leader in changing this industry by pulling back the curtain with transparency and relieving you of the burden of having to obsess over eating well.
When I tell you her audience is angry, they are livid, they are so upset. In a nutshell, she would always go on about how, you know, you don't necessarily need to add supplements, you need to get a lot of it from your diet and all of this. And then she would then criticize how a lot of influencers come out with their own protein powders, protein shakes, and it's a way of them shilling to make money, and a lot of it is like bogus, and you know, you can get it from your diet. I remember this Abby Sharp. She may have changed along the way, but this is my recollection from, how long ago was that? Like 6 years ago? A long time. So people are angry, not just for the reason that I just mentioned, but also the price point. Okay, so the price point. So if you go onto her website, kind of sounds a bit cliche, but yeah, it's called New Theory. There have been other channels over here on YouTube who have definitely given their own sort of unfiltered opinion of what is actually in these shakes.
Please don't spend $75 on this. Please spend your money elsewhere on things that are actually useful, you know.
Chocolate silk plant-based probiotic protein powder, £53. That's not including shipping. If I were to include the shipping costs, we're looking somewhere upward of like 70, I'm pretty sure. You can get one-time purchase for 53, subscribe and save, delivery every month, 10% off, 47. She said in this comment, right, she said you get 20 servings. 20 servings of, I mean, you're looking at a lot of money. If I decided to include that little protein, you know, blender mixer shaker, what does she call it? The essential shaker. I swear every single protein shaker has their own little name, but she calls it the essential shaker. 2 different colors, £32. So if you were to like combine all of that in total, you're looking at quite a lot of money.
So yesterday I announced the launch of my new probiotic protein powder, New Theory, and some folks were not so happy about the price. So let's talk about why they're priced the way they are, because I really just want to be super transparent so that you can make the best purchasing decision for you. So first of all, I think one of the big things that's been missed in this conversation is that this is actually 2 supplements in one. It's a full clinical dosage of premium spore-forming probiotics plus complete protein. And it's not just straight up pea protein. You know, we have added additional hemp protein, leucine, glutamine, ashwagandha, tart cherry, and proteolytic enzymes to help significantly improve the amino acid bioavailability and to help stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And you know, I don't think a lot of people know this, but most plant-based proteins naturally do not contain enough leucine to stimulate muscle growth, which is why we paid more to top it up. My team and I had to make a lot of decisions really early on about the pricing point early in the formulation process. Because ultimately what I learned was that really good high quality ingredients in dosages that actually work and not just a ton of window dressings as we see in a lot of supplements that just costs more money. Third-party testing also costs a ton of money, which is why most supplement companies and brands just don't do it, because it's not mandatory and it costs a fortune. But I had to make the decision from the get-go if I was going to compromise on clinical dosages and safety, and therefore compromise on my own personal and professional integrity and values, or if I was going to try to make a product with the lowest price point that I possibly could.
A lot of people will gravitate towards one particular brand and they will stick to it. So if someone likes this, they're spending like $100, $100 whatever every single, like that's only 20 servings. Like that is not a lot. There is another point as well, and I'm not quite sure if she even has them up anymore, but people are going off in the comments saying that, yeah, she doesn't have, like she's going on about having third-party testing, which she states is something that she would, you know, constantly drag a lot of other people for, because a lot of the shakes and all this and that, a lot of the stuff isn't actually, you know, regulated. So she does have a good point there, but then she didn't initially, I'm not sure if she has now, actually uploaded the testing that was done by third party to prove that everything did have correct dosages and things, whereas they say it did not go down well at all. And the comments are absolutely brutal. Someone says, the research and time poured into the product sounds legit, but this does not seem to align with countless videos Abby has made regarding influencers' products. Abby says, why not? My criticism of other influencers' regimes was that they were useless / poor quality. You have heard me talk about my own extensive supplement routine, and you've heard me talk extensively about protein and gut health. In fact, I've always said taking probiotics is really helpful for a lot of folks, not just eating yogurt, which will never yield a clinical dose. This is very much on brand with me. This is my lifelong dream, not just another product. My first product. Sorry if you thought it was misleading, but I'm really proud of this. A lot of the problems that people are having with it is the fact that she's saying, you know, I don't like the fact that other influencers are doing it and their products are not the best and all of this, but you should then buy my product. And I think that that is what a lot of influencers do. Now, she does have a good point, is that she wanted to be able to do it with, you know, with her dietetic background, and she wanted to be able to get third-party testing. She wanted to do it the proper way, but she has spent such a long time critiquing even people that kind of do know what they're talking about within the business, shilling products. And here she is shilling her own product, going, guys, don't listen to them, listen to me, because I am a registered dietitian, I know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, the reasoning why she's doing it, it's because she wants to make money out of it. And I've never really heard, which is why a lot of people do a lot of things, let's be completely real, but I've never once heard her say that she wanted to start her own protein supplement company, probiotic protein shake. I've never once heard her say that. The criticism I have for these brands is not their price. It is their price for product that is just window dressing and fluff. I would be much more disappointed in myself to sell you a product that I knew wasn't optimized to work, even if it meant I could shave off $10. That would be problematic, dishonest, and not on brand for me. Very long one says, for my brand, I'm all about transparency, yet then doesn't have accessible third-party testing, and when asked about it, has a cut and paste response saying that it's too complicated for lay people, so you need to wait for us to dumb it down, essentially. This whole thing is just screaming money grab. Selling a crazy expensive shaker bottle and then $65 pea protein for a wild $3.25 per serving is just asinine. You're not reinventing the wheel. It is protein powder, and there are a ton of great quality protein powders that are on the market for a fraction of the cost. It is so tone deaf, and if this wasn't her own brand, I'm sure Abby would be going off about this, because she always finds a reason to pick things apart for not being enough. This just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm glad people are voicing their opinions on this. No one asked for this. That's just the tip of the cherry. If you go onto her thing, it is lengthy, and supposedly she did actually have the title completely different. It was titled like The Truth Behind My Supplement. I don't know, it was titled something different. I'll put it up here because a commenter, you know, pinpointed this. Not to say that people, like YouTubers, do sometimes change the title if it's just not vibing, or they're like, oh, I made a mistake here. I have definitely done that before. I've gone, that makes no sense, or oh no, that's not what I meant. when it's been pinpointed out. But people were saying that, you know, she was trying to kind of clickbait people into viewing it.
I'm an IBS girly myself. Actually, all 3 of New Theory's founders have IBS and are prone to bloating. So it was absolutely imperative that this product was gut friendly. So that's why we developed this as a true 2-in-1. It's your muscle building protein and it's your gut supporting probiotic. Most people don't realize this, but not all probiotics are created equal. So we selected strains that are clinically studied and shown to help reduce bloating, gas, and other IBS symptoms.
I used to suffer with IBS, but I don't know a great deal about it in terms of like physiology. But there are people in the comment section, you know, saying, as you know, as a GI MP, we never recommend digestive enzymes to anyone that doesn't have the labs and symptoms to show there is an issue. There is emerging research in the gut microbiome, but not enough for us to adopt guidelines on this. It is well established that a varied diet is how you get healthy microbes in the small intestine and large intestine. As for protein powders like alarm fatigue, I have supplement fatigue and I'm just out. I'm tired of finding professionals I love to listen to only be hit with another sales pitch for their proprietary products. Thought this was different. And this was echoed, I think, from the Unnatural Vegan. I watched her video on it, where she was actually breaking down like the ingredients and what was going on.
We get to probiotics, specifically Bacillus subtilis and coagulans, which is now actually H. coagulans. It doesn't matter. According to Abby, these are particularly effective for IBS, but according to this systematic review and meta-analysis, it remains unclear whether a particular combination of probiotics or a specific species or strain is more likely to be effective, or whether there is a particular IBS subtype that is more likely to benefit. To be fair, this is from 2018, and the 2 studies Abby references were published quite a while after that. But Abby writes, or whoever wrote this, writes as though these 2 strains are the strains for IBS symptoms, and that's just not true. That's not what the evidence says. Going back to the meta-analysis and others as well, various strains have performed positively. Probiotics in irritable bowel syndrome. Is the quest for the right strain over? Apparently yes, and it's an entirely different one. Super helpful.
Well, these probiotics are definitely a premium. It is totally worth it in my books because they actually work.
She really should know better than to say something like this. Just because a couple of studies found certain strains performed positively for some people doesn't mean that everyone with IBS is going to have positive results if they start consuming these strains.
And I always thought it was a bit strange because, I mean, IBS is very different for everyone, and what someone's triggers are is not necessarily a trigger for someone else. In my case, for a while, I literally could not eat like anything that was like really high in saturated fat, and it sorted itself out in the end. But I do know that other people's IBS flare-ups, you know, are caused by other things, and I don't know if necessarily drinking a probiotic drink would have really alleviated those symptoms, wherever other people it might. I don't know. I think it was a bit of a broad claim, and I do think, just my own opinion, I do think that Abby's initial video, like her unveiling what was going on, it just reminded me so hard of like all the influencers who do really similar things.
We really want to be a leader in rebuilding this industry from the ground up by pulling back the curtain and delivering transparent, evidence-based products that you can actually trust.
Yeah, what she's trying to do, but she's spent so long taking the piss out of people who were doing that it kind of feels a little bit tone deaf. I'm not sure. Also the price point as well. She says like they're not necessary, you know, have a good varied diet, but if you want a bit of added, then yeah, you can add some. If you're, you know, skimping out in other areas, then you're making sure that you're getting your allotted dosage of micronutrients, that kind of thing. I understand it. But if that's the case, like it's just ludicrously expensive. Like in this time, who is going to be spending like, you know, $100 every 20 scoops on protein powder alone? I mean, my dog, he has this little food delivery box called Butterbox. If you know, you know. Dogs absolutely love it. That is not a gimmick, by the way. If you've seen adverts for that thing, not a gimmick. We were actually using it before I started seeing like all of their ads pop up everywhere. That would be my dream sponsor, actually. Anyway, Butterbox, I get like, I don't know, like 28 sachets, 70 something pounds every 28 sachets, but I justify that because it's keeping my dog alive. Whereas a protein powder, which probably would cost the same amount of money, including shipping, that's not necessary. Do you get what I mean? Like, I know that's such a stupid example, but I can justify spending like 70 odd quid on my dog's food. But a protein powder, no, it's not essential. That's just what I think. People over on TikTok are a little bit more happy than they are over on YouTube, but I can tell you right now, they're not happy whatsoever. What isn't helping her case either is that she's not actually disclosing all of her ads. So she disclosed a couple of them over on TikTok or Instagram, and then there's one she did quite recently where she claimed that she'd like broken her blender or something. That was not disclosed, which is now going to be a bit of a difficult one for her to try and navigate. But all in all, what do I think? 'Cause it's been very heavy lenient on that, because I'm just not feeling a bit under the weather today. What I do think is that, yeah, I think that this was not potentially, if you were going to do it, make it a lot cheaper so that more people would be, you know, keen to it. But I think if you've spent so long, you know, going on about how just about everyone else who promotes or creates these products, all of their products are crap, but mine is okay, I think that's going to be a bit hard for people to wrap their head around if you're, you know, you spent most of your career online poo-pooing other people's protein shakes to then come up with your own. It's like you're alienating the competition, and, you know, that's just, I don't know, that's just what I think. But I've never tried it and I'm never going to try it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.